Week 1 is in the books for the Dallas Cowboys. You hate to lose the winnable games. You hate to lose road games. You hate to lose in the division. And you hate to lose to the Eagles. And they handed it to you. Mike Fisher here reporting on your Dallas Cowboys. Breakfast at Fish and Ease doesn't taste very delicious this morning. Cowboys lose 24-20 on Thursday Night Football. In a weird night in so many ways. It starts weird as we walk you through the events of that game. And obviously I'll review, as always, all your comments, your questions, and your criticisms. First of all, those of you who said, Fish, you're too negative. The Cowboys, they can beat the Eagles. They can play with the Eagles. You were right. They absolutely played with them. They absolutely could have taken them down. And part of it is, as I said last night, part of it that is because Jalen Carter, the Eagles' goofy but maybe their best player, tried to hand you this thing. Unfortunately, the guy he handed it to was CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb dropped it 1, 2, and 3 times. The underdog put up a fight and lost 24-20. If you believe in moral victories, you get that here. If you believe in building blocks, you get that here too. Along the way, over the course of this Thursday night in Philly, they raise their banners. They show off their rings, which are bigger than my bell. We get Carter ejected before kickoff as he inexplicably decided to spit on Dak Prescott. Now, there's kind of this story going around based on some footage that Dak spit first. But Dak was in the huddle with his guys, saw Jalen Carter coming towards him and kind of spit on the ground. You get to spit on the ground. You don't get to spit on another man. And when Carter retaliated or something by spitting on Dak Prescott in front of God and a referee, God and referee and TV cameras and everybody, out he goes, and the punishment might be more extensive than just one game. There will be, obviously, an NFL examination of, now, what did Dak do here? It seems to me that what Dak did here at worst is bait an idiot into being an idiot. Dak's spit basically said, how stupid are you, Jalen? And Jalen's spit back is, really, really stupid. He almost single-handedly, in a real way, cost his team the game. A big part of their game plan is, let's have Jalen Carter clog everything up and rush the passer too. Next thing you know, the Cowboys, with no Jalen Carter in there, are able to run the football. Let's get into it. With you, 75,000 fish heads in Cowboy Nation, who, in the end, can feel okay about this. Coach Schottenheimer begins his career here 0-1, despite dialing up some success, featuring the young Dallas offensive line, which was good, and running back Javonte Williams, who scored the 2 one-yard touchdowns, in part because I think Jalen Carter wasn't there. I don't know that Javonte Williams carrying the ball the way he did, and he was very effective, not just at the 1-yard line. I don't know that that was central to Shotty's game plan, but when Jalen Carter goes out, it certainly moves up on the totem pole. CeeDee Lamb catches 7 passes for 110 yards. Unfortunately, it should have been 10 passes for like 160. This is on a night when Dak Prescott was on the money in many ways, and CeeDee Lamb, the all-pro receiver, $34 million a year guy, oddly drops 1, 2, 3 big moment, catchable balls in the second half, very much allowing the Eagles to escape. After the game, by the way, CeeDee Lamb, it's on me. He says, I pray to get an opportunity to catch balls like that. And he's taking responsibility for what he did not do. Prescott, 21-34, 188 yards. Not spectacular numbers by the yardage, although, again, too bad he couldn't have another 60 or so. The 21-34, efficient enough. Decision-making was good. His movement was good, coming off last year's hamstring torn off the bone. But he was outdone by Eagles Super Bowl MVP quarterback Jalen Hurts, who did it again.
Football season is here, and this year, I'll be using ProfitX as my go-to for season-long plays and player props. ProfitX is America's #1 sports prediction market, where you can win real money predicting sports in 40 plus states. You'll get better odds than traditional sports books because you're playing against others, not the house. With ProfitX, you can request your own odds, play with confidence, and get super fast payouts straight to your bank, card, or even crypto. And here's the best part. Right now, if you sign up at ProfitX.co and use promo code FISH, you'll get up to $200 in profit cash on all your plays for the first 30 days. Sign up now at ProfitX.co and start winning real money predicting sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Cowboys defense way too often failed to locate him as a runner. And maybe the idea of using a spy on defense is outmoded. That's certainly something that teams did 30 years ago. If running quarterbacks are going to do this to the Cowboys on a consistent basis, not that they're all Jalen Hurts, ouch. The Eagles gained 302 yards. Again, not gigantic numbers, but they get 158 yards rushing. Hurts had 62 on 14 carries, and they weren't all tush pushes either. He scores from 4 and 8 on scrambles that were not necessarily designed to be that way and certainly weren't tush pushes. And then Saquon Barkley, he pitches in 60 yards and a touchdown on 18 carries. Barkley didn't kill you. Hurts killed you. And it was about passing lanes. It was about not being able to run with him. It was about, I think, guessing wrong in some cases. And a lot of it's just about how good he is. He was 19 of 23, by the way, passing. So they don't throw it very often, and they don't necessarily throw it very well. But 19 of 23 is what I have him down as, 152 yards, doing just enough damage in the end. I predicted that the Cowboys would need to put on a fireworks show here on offense, and they almost did it. They fell short of that, though. They started out brilliantly. The idea of let's punch first, as Dak Prescott said, that worked. Shoddy's idea, let's go out and play free and run around and have fun. That worked. But they gain a total of just 307 yards. The Eagles can win with 300 yards total. I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that very often. Win with 300 yards total. Now, Javonte, coming over from Denver, the free agent, 54 rushing yards. Miles Sanders going against his own team. He had I think it was a 49-yard run. By the way, and I can say this as somebody who is not a fast runner. When you're running and a guy's catching you, as Zach Bond did, Miles Sanders doesn't know this, or he has too much pride to admit that this linebacker's catching me. The guy behind you is catching you. You cut it at an angle and increase the gap between the two of you. And if he starts catching you again, you cut it at another angle. It's the only way I ever got anywhere. I'm talking about flag football, is being able to go like this a little bit, and then, of course, still getting caught, in my case. Over the course of this NBC telecast, which, by the way, because of the 62-minute lightning delay, that's one of the hardest jobs in journalism right there. How are we going to fill 62 minutes of jibba-jab? And they found a way, Mike Tirico and company. A lot of what they talked about was Micah Parsons, he who shall not be named. And we're, as usual, we'll try to always just frame it right. Although week 4 is going to be a challenge, isn't it? The absence of Micah Parsons, superstar pass rusher, traded last week to Green Bay, no longer here. And I get it. It's got to be mentioned. It's got to be covered. I thought probably they overdid it. I thought over the course of the broadcast, they overdid it by saying, oh, they really miss Micah now. But the Cowboys on Thursday night in week 1 at Philadelphia, they didn't need the best of Micah to beat Philadelphia. The Cowboys needed the best of CeeDee Lamb. And the Cowboys, 24-20 losers, didn't get that. Fish out.